Good morning, guys. Alive, alert, awake, and super duper early. It's like 8:15 in the morning, and I've been up since about 7. Wow. I'm actually gonna be heading into work here in a minute, but somebody's gonna be staying home with somebody else. Oh, he's not awake. When I walked out of this room, he was wide awake. He's thinking about it.
He is awake. He's
being a fussy budget. But anyway, just going ahead and getting my shoes on, getting everything ready to go. First time I've been out the door to go to work in like 2 weeks, maybe more. Can't remember the last time I actually went into the office to see my boss. Probably more than 2 weeks. But I'm ready super duper early, so let's get this done. All right, on the road, well on my way into the office. Actually, probably like 15 or 20 minutes earlier than I would normally be. Could have been an awful lot earlier. I just kind of, I don't know, there was something this morning I really didn't want to get out the door. It's Monday after having been off for 2 weeks, a week and a half, so I, with obvious reasons, would not want to leave the house. So before I left, I was asking Christina, is there anything that you need to do before I leave? I can sit here and take care of Ellis for a little while. I took the dog out very quickly, just this, that, and the other. Ellis was being kind of fussy, so rather than just going ahead and going out the door, I picked him up and I walked around with him for a little bit, tried to calm him down. It wasn't even that he was being fussy, it was just that he acted like he wanted to get up and walk around. It's like, you're not ready for that yet, dude. So I picked him up and I carried him around and showed him different things around the house, and he calmed down pretty well. And that technically, that is one of the really good things about my job. It's one of the good things about the way that I do things, is that over the next 6 weeks or so, while Christina is home with him, I am going to be able to see him all day, every day, and her. But it's going to be a constant sort of a struggle, I guess. Because while I'm at home, while I'm there trying to get my work done, I'm also going to have potentially screaming baby in the background, and potentially wife that needs help with screaming baby. And I can definitely try to do that. It's just going to, balancing the work and life aspects are going to be, it's going to be challenging. However, in good news, really, really good news, last night I was not really convinced that I was going to be able to hit my goal, but I got to over 10,000 steps, almost 11,000 steps last night. So walking on the treadmill definitely got the job done. I've got to make myself start doing that. 10,000, like I said, was my goal in the past. It needs to not be my goal anymore. My goal needs to be 12.5 to 15,000 steps at least, which is really, really hard when you're traveling, but with a new baby, I'm not going to be traveling a whole lot. I'm going to be staying at home an awful lot. And treadmill desk makes all the difference as far as that's concerned, especially when it's winter out and it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit or less, in the negatives in terms of Celsius. Having that treadmill desk in the home makes such a difference. And actually, I was so tempted by this. I don't need it. We don't have room for it. I saw a deal on, what was it? I think it was on Amazon. It was for a bicycle desk. And it's basically the same concept as the treadmill desk that I have and that I use all the time, except you have a small laptop desk area with a bicycle on it. And it's not powered in any way. You literally just sit down and you pedal while you work. I think the retail price on it was like $300 or $400, and I had it marked down to under $200, which again, very, very tempting. Not something that I need, obviously. I will say this much. If pedaling the bicycle would power things, if it would power at the very least a USB charger, I would probably have gone for it, just because that would have made an absolutely amazing video. And I know good and well, for $200, if I had purchased it and made videos about it, there would be probably a dozen people that would ask that question. Can you power your smartphone with it? Can you power your laptop with it? Can you power a monitor with it? Nope, I don't think you can. I'll have to make sure to try to look it up, and if I can find it again, I'll put the link down in the description below. I know there are some of you guys out there that when I mention something that I think is a good deal, or when I find something that's just kind of neat, you like having the links down there, so I try to make sure to put those down there. I'm still tormenting myself, absolutely tormenting myself over that camcorder from yesterday. Not that I need it. As they do tend to say, what's your New Year's resolution? My New Year's resolution is 4K. I would absolutely love for my main channel to be able to go 4K for everything. Now, obviously, that's not going to be an option because my DJI Phantom 3 is not 4K. Actually, though, right before I left the house, I got 2 emails from DJI saying that they're announcing new products. They've got a new DJI Phantom 3 4K, although I didn't see the pricing info on that. They have a whole comparison tool up there comparing the Phantom Professional and Advanced, the standard that I've got, and the new 4K model. And the 4K model seems to be basically right in between the standard and the professional and advanced ones. So you have 4K video, you have the distance, like 500 meters, 1.2 kilometers from the standard. You have the Sony sensor from the professional and the advanced. I think you have the transmitter from the professional and the advanced, or some sort of a hybrid between the two, because it has play, pause, record, blah, blah, blah buttons on the controller that you don't have on the standard. I'll have to look to see what kind of smartphone holder it comes with, or tablet holder, I don't know. That's one of the biggest downsides to the standard that I have, is that it cannot hold a tablet. It can't hold anything larger than about a 5.5 to 5.7 inch display device. But you know, I'm making do with it just fine. Like I said, I wish that it could hold a bigger one. I wish maybe that there was a way that I could just put a bigger clamp on it. I guess I could technically do that, because having something bigger like the iPad mini, or the Shield tablet, or the iPad Air, or even the Nexus 9, those would be amazing options, because I could much better see what it is that I'm capturing and interact with the DJI Go app if I were able to use a larger tablet instead of a small smartphone. But that's kind of neither here nor there. I will, of course, be on the lookout for other deals and things. And actually, I was talking to Hugo in the comments again this morning. He mentioned yet another lens that I'm tempted by, but not quite as much. It's the Panasonic 25mm 1.7 lens, and it's about $250 on Amazon, which again, really good price. But it's not as small as the 17mm he mentioned, or the 20mm I mentioned yesterday. That's sort of where I'm at with it. I want a decently wide-angle lens, something that is not, you know, it's capable of doing portraits, but it's not designed for portraits, basically. I had a 50mm for my Canon setup. That worked really well. When I was using a crop body Canon, I had a 30mm Sigma, which was gorgeous. Loved that lens. I've honestly been tempted to look into some sort of a speed booster or an adapter to get my Canon EFS lens to work on Panasonic, because that Sigma lens, if I could get it working on the Panasonic, would be wow. It would probably be more like I don't even know, I guess it would be a 70mm or 60mm 1.4, which would be amazing. But the other option is just to sell off that lens, to sell off all of my Canon lenses, and just invest heavily in the teeny tiny little micro four thirds lenses, which will definitely get the job done and then some, and be super duper small, so that while the camera won't be pocketable, it will be very easy to fit it into a backpack or into my little nutsack man bag. Love that little bag. That bag is so cute, and it gets the job done. But anyway, I've been going on for entirely too long about cameras and drones and things of that nature. Actually, no, speaking of drones, I was watching Casey Neistat's vlog this morning, and I get that you can fly the Phantom 3 drones indoors, not the standard one. You don't want to fly that one indoors, but he's got the professional. You can fly that indoors. But I would not fly a drone indoors for your very first time. Just don't do it. But he did it, and he had issues, and wow. I cannot wait to see what Casey does with his drone, though. Now that he's actually starting to experiment with it a little bit, especially if he will take it outside of the city, where you can get farther away from the airports, where you can actually be safe with it. Hopefully he knows that he's supposed to register it. I think that he would know that. But I think with his filmmaking skills and his abilities, he could do some really amazing, really impressive things with it. And it's been trying to snow this morning, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And the sky looks super duper weird. I'm gonna flip you around. Sorry, I've still got the mount for the dash cam in there. There you go. Look at some of the clouds up there. It's just really weird clouds. Pretty, but weird. And you know what? I've been going on for entirely too long. I'm gonna head on into the office, and we'll be back with you in just a little bit. Well, that took a little longer than anticipated. My boss had other meetings and commitments this morning, but we had an absolutely awesome little meeting there. Sort of went over where I was. I was actually able to make quite a bit of progress this morning. Just surprising being back in the office as to what that was able to accomplish for me. So the script that I've been working on is actually really close to being done at this point. I just had to get some specifics from him, had to get access to a server to actually put it on, but I'm definitely getting there. And he had some really good thoughts and suggestions as to how I should do certain things. There are some things that are going to be specific and some things that are going to be changing inside of the script that are not able to easily be programmatically obtained. Don't really want to go into too much detail, but like places to mount things and places to store things and names to call things. he doesn't want to have to specify it when he runs the script. He wants it to be automatically pulled in from somewhere else. So I'm going to be looking into Python's configuration parsing and dealing with configuration files in that way. Sorry, programming stuff. Moving on. But now, time to make a quick trip to Sam's, because that's what I do when I come into the office, and then get back home, make sure everything's all right with that baby. Well, that was almost more trouble than it was worth, but luckily my energy drinks were on sale, which is awesome. And the Friosk, the little kiosk they have where they give you something free every time you come in, had chocolate stuff, which I'm a big fan of. And it was what they claim is semi-healthy chocolate stuff, so definitely can't complain about that. So, cheap lunch, a little bit of a pain trying to find the stuff that Christina wanted me to find while I was there, but got some good prices on the things that I wanted. And now chocolate time. I have made it home, and hey, it's those people I haven't seen in a few hours. And he is still snoozing. Just sleeping all the time. You're not sleeping. Nope. Probably was earlier. Huh? No? But I bet he's been sleeping. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what he does. So, a little while later, Duncan is home and off the bus. I kind of almost fell asleep. I didn't. I was super close. Sat here and held Ellis for a little while Christina got some stuff that she needed to do done. However, I had a little bit of an ask and ye shall receive kind of moment earlier. I said the other day that I lost my Nexus 5X charger, my USB Type-C to Type-C charger, and luckily, TronSmart provided. I don't think they, obviously they hadn't seen my video or anything because they don't know about my vlogging channel, but this showed up in the mail today. It's another USB Type-C to Type-C cable with a Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 Type-C, there you go, wall adapter USB Type-C. So I'm just curious to see what this actually looks like. I used, like I said before, I've used the one for the Nexus 5X a little bit here and there. Wow, that's kind of a big wall charger. Ah, it has a regular USB plug as well as a USB Type-C. So now I can actually charge my USB Type-C upstairs, my Nexus 5X upstairs, and bring my normal USB Type-C to full-size USB cable back down here for syncing, or for pulling data off. Very, very convenient. And it certainly never hurts to have another USB Type-C to Type-C cable. There we go, good to go. I don't know what they're really expecting. I mean, he mentioned that he was gonna be sending these things out to me, so now I have one for the car and one for the house. I don't know if I'm really expected to make videos about them or not. I would say probably. Maybe what I'll do is when/if I actually end up with a Qualcomm Quick Charge 3 device, I'll test it out using this. And of course I'm gonna test them out using the Nexus 5X and see if they'll do charging rapidly on that. It should, because it says it'll do 5 volts at 3 amps max, and that's what it's supposed to do. Maybe. Yeah, it says 3.6 to 6.5 at 3 amps. Good stuff. She has done dangerous things. These were supposed to be done for Santa, but unfortunately we forgot. Baby time and whatnot, it just kind of didn't happen. Oh look, I'm back in the car again. Yeah, Christina decided that she wanted a pizza for dinner tonight, and she figured Duncan would probably like that a lot, and I'll take a pizza just about any day of the week. So, ordered online, headed out to pick it up right now. It is always so tempting. Pizza Hut has this offer. It's like a $10 family box thing, and it's a pizza, and then breadsticks, and cinnamon sticks, or Cinna-Sticks, or whatever they call it, and it's $10. That is ridiculously tempting, but we were good, if you want to call it that. We just went with the large 2-topping pepperoni and jalapenos. I am such a big fan of jalapenos. Pizza obtained, and I'm not sure what has happened, but at some point in the last day or two, I've apparently pulled a muscle in my back. So like right in the center of my back, radiating toward the left side, I am having some sharp, pretty nasty pains every time I move. Not fun. Not fun in the slightest, but we'll deal with it. I'll go home and take some ibuprofen, and we'll hope for the best. By the way, just wanted to kind of throw this out there. Wow, that sunset. Not as nice as I've seen, but definitely not bad. And I've got a feeling here in the next half hour or so, that is going to become really, really pretty. Hopefully it'll turn kind of an orange and pink and purple and all of that. May come back out for that. But for now, pizza time. It looks quite tasty too. All right. Doing picnic time on the floor with the boys. Enjoying that pizza? Yeah. Mommy's got hers. Ellis, you got your pizza? Nope. No teeth. But he's awake. He's awake for the first time that I've seen today. Hello. You can hang out with him, have fun. I got mine. Pepperoni and jalapeno. That's not a bad view to have while eating. Wow. That's a sunset. I really ought to have the drone out there. Oh well. What was that?
Pizza is more important.
Pizza is more important than drones and sunsets and silly things like that. Ellis learned the valuable lesson of the pizza. Alright, it is much, much later in the day. Duncan is in bed. Christina and Ellis are in there on the couch. I am attempting to get more steps because, yep, 5,300 and it is after 10 p.m. Not a good thing. I'm also trying to make it through some of the videos that I haven't quite finished yet. So I've got Roman Atwood's latest vlog here. I've got Ask MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee's latest video about his time at CES. I'm going to be watching that. I've also got my work laptop sitting here right beside me so that if I get the urge, I can open it back up and start working on some of the stuff I was doing today. Unfortunately, after I got home from work, I didn't really get back into it, so yeah. And Christina and I have been going back and forth on Trivia Crack. I keep mentioning that app. Obviously not a sponsor or anything, but ridiculously addictive. It's a very, very good thing that it is kind of limited in that if you lose a certain amount of times, you run out of hearts and then you have to wait until those replenish until you can play again. But it's also knowledge stuff, so it's not like you're just moving little dots around on the screen and hoping for the best to try to clear stuff. You actually have to know the answers to questions to score. Anyway, in other sort of interesting news, Christina and I were sitting in there earlier, we placed our first order on Google Express. I think I mentioned this a little while back. There was a voucher of some kind I found on Living Social. It was $10 for a $35 voucher to Google Express, and apparently in our area, Google Express has recently started shipping things. So we found out we were able to get a free membership for 3 months. It's a thing through Google. If you haven't done Google Express before and it's available in your area, you can get 3 months of the service for free. It's regularly $10 a month, or I think $95 for a year. So we went ahead and signed up for the free trial. Then we used that $35 voucher that we had to buy, I don't know, $46 worth of stuff. Just things we would have purchased if we'd gone to Costco, but with the baby and whatnot, we don't really want to get out in this cold weather with a bunch of people around. So this kind of enables us to restock on a lot of the larger items that we would normally go out there to purchase without having to go out there. And yes, I realize I went to Sam's this morning. Shh, that's neither here nor there. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to continue walking and continue playing Trivia Crack as I can and being bombarded by emails from CES. That's honestly the worst thing about not going there is the emails. Well, the emails and the tweets and stuff, seeing all the stuff coming out of CES, but getting emails from the companies that are at CES saying, hey, we want to meet with you. We want to let you check out our product. We want to send you our product if you're at CES. It's like, I'm not at CES this year. And I'm pouting about it, but that's okay. Maybe if everything goes well this year, maybe I'll get to go next year. And you know, it's weird. As much as I've talked about the main channel and how I'm very pleased with how the channel is doing, I do still kind of have goals in mind for my main channel. Every year for the last few years, I've been going to CES for XDA. I would absolutely love it if somehow, during the course of this year, things would turn around for my own channel, such that I could start going to press events for things like Samsung Unpacked, or IFA in Germany, or Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and actually have these companies come out to me and say, me personally, we would like for you to come to this event. Don't know if that's ever gonna happen. It would be lovely if it did. But on the other side of that, it would be very nice if there would be a way for my channel to become more successful during the course of this year, such that by the time CES rolls around next year, that I could go on my own dime or go on like a Patreon thing or sponsored. I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. I definitely don't mind going on XDA's dime because it's, you know, I'm able to provide content for them and they're able to provide flight and hotel and whatever else for me while I'm there. But I'm not a huge fan of the idea of being beholden to somebody. And by that I mean going someplace on somebody else's dime and feeling like I owe them something and not being able to really enjoy the event because I'm so worried about the content that I have to create as a result of it. I don't actually have the opportunity to create content that I really enjoy as a result. So I guess what I'm kind of trying to get at there is that it would be really, really nice to be able to go to events like this and just say, wow, this is something that I find to be really cool. CES, not 2015, but 2014, where XDA brought us out, I really had a large impact on what was covered there. You know, I got to just wander the CES floor and say, this is something that'll make an interesting video. This is something that'll be kind of cool. Wait, this is like an Android phone that has a controller built into it. Yeah, this video will do pretty well. That was for the, what was it, the snail games something that no one ever heard anything out of after that, maybe. But still, I had a lot of creative input on that one, and I didn't feel like you must create 7 videos of this specific caliber. It was more, just make content, make good content, and we'll be happy. So I'm kind of hoping that somehow over the course of this year, that my channel will grow such that I'll be able to do that kind of thing next year. And you know, it's a big thing to throw out there. I saw it, again, I'm gonna mention Amy Schmidauer. I saw her over on Twitter this morning mention that her goal for 2016, she normally doesn't pay attention to the numbers, and she's been doing this YouTube thing about as long as I have, maybe even longer. And she's at about 38,000 subscribers now, thanks to some cross-pollination with some of the big tech channels. I know she's buddy-buddy with Marquez Brownlee, she's buddy-buddy with Austin Evans, and a few other guys like that. And they've done videos on each other's channels at CES and at other events. Well, she said her resolution for this year is that she'd like to see, her goal for this year, I guess, is she'd like to see her channel go from 38,000 to 100,000 this year. I would very much like to see my own do the exact same thing. I would love to break 100,000 before this year is over. If you would like to support me in that, that would be beautiful. If the vlogging channel hit that, that would be even better, but I'm thinking realistically here, the tech channel, there's a much more likely opportunity for that to happen. But the onus does fall to me. I am the one at the end of the day that has to make the content that is going to make the viewers want to share it, that's going to make the viewers want to talk about it, it's going to make people want to come back for more, so I've got to work that out in my head. For this channel, we can definitely try to do the same, but we also just try to be ourselves. That's kind of the goal at the end of the day, is to capture what's going on in our lives, what's going on in my crazy old brain, and splatter it out onto the canvas for you guys. Well, this should be interesting. I'm going to attempt to walk on the treadmill, because I've got like 1,500 steps left to get. And hold Ellis, because he decided he did not want to sleep. And it's like 11:30 at night. So I've got to get 1,500 steps in less than a half an hour and try to deal with a baby who does not want to sleep. Should be good. In other completely off-topic news, I was watching the MKBHD video that I mentioned earlier. He was talking about how he switched from Premiere to Final Cut Pro. And for whatever reason, that got me looking at and thinking about my work computer. I use a 15-inch mid-14 MacBook Pro. Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage. It's pretty much a beast. And I looked it up, and it's actually got slightly nicer specs than the laptop that I currently edit with when I'm on the road. So I'm semi-seriously thinking about downloading Premiere onto it, Premiere Elements, because that's what I own, and giving it a shot. Because technically, if I did that, I could sell my existing laptop and just use that when I'm on the go. Because when I'm on the go, it would actually be helpful to have my work laptop with me in case I need to remote in and do some actual work. Plus, the MacBook Pro is a whole lot thinner and lighter with better battery life. It's super duper tempting. And he's just gonna sit here and stare at the camera, because that's a thing, bugger. But anyway, I probably ought to go ahead and wrap things up. Like I said, I'm just going to be standing here walking. I'm definitely not going to have time to do anything else video related today, and after all the talking that I've done right now and lots of talking I did earlier, this is going to be a bit of a long one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me rambling on and on about all of the things that I rambled on today. Hopefully you also enjoyed spending time with me and my family today. We definitely appreciated you coming along. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending the day with us, and we will see you again next time.